Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we're out in the Duca de Pasta. I mean the Duca de Osta. We had a little bit of a mini update yesterday, and some of the things it affected was SAP. So I was like, you know what, we'll take out the SAP cruisers, find a game, have fun, and show it off to y'all. As far as our commander for Duca de Osta, we are running good old Mimbelli, tried and true. You know, he's pretty much my go-to unless they have smoke. Anyways, so what exactly occurred in the update yesterday? Well, there's kind of four bullet points of fixes. The first one is SAP shells getting citadels versus battleships. I guess that was occurring, and of course, semi armor piercing, not supposed to pierce the armor all the way to get to a citadel of a battleship. So good to see that little one is fixed. Next, ships sunk with SAP will now have a proper shell icon as opposed to the skill the skill icon that was being used, which I kind of don't like. I really enjoyed being able to see the Italian hand of justice whenever one of these vessels was able to was whenever one of these vessels sunk a ship. Then there's a new label displaying over the back menu button with no good reason. I don't know. That's some weird bug. And then finally, what maybe some of you have been waiting for, the return of the legendary aircraft carrier projects for sale for doubloons. Of course, remember that those projects will stay indefinitely for silver, so you can always buy them for silver. However, they are 30 million silver. That's the process I'm just going to go through. I for one don't see the benefit other than less time in going out and purchasing with the doubloons. That's really the only reason. And just as a reminder, the doubloons that goes away at the end of this update. The ability to purchase with doubloons, silver stays forever. So, you know, if you think you're gonna want one of them and you want to spend real money on something you can get for free, get out there. Just go. They're available now. So yeah, those are the four little things that changed during this update. Nothing huge, nothing too big. But yeah, so welcome to the game. If you saw, we've kind of pushed over to this flank. We started harassing these battleships, and we have one of the destroyers here in the cap with our teammate. And well, we have smoke, and both of the destroyers are smoked up. So, it's time to take Duca d'Aosta in. Nice thing about the Italian cruisers is they tend to be very fast little speedboats. And, we're going to use that to our advantage. We're going to try to keep that island dead ahead of us, kind of between us and those battleships, because those battleships can absolutely wreck us. And we need to be very careful of them. The good news is they have a lot of thinnish armor, which means our SAP is rather effective up against them, which is nice. We can see even when they're bow on, we're doing some decent damage. Fubuki pops up over here, but he looks like he is pretty much doomed from the man's torps. His torps take him down. We only get one little shot in. So now it's our turn just to try to pepper these guys with some SAP. We're going to try to keep that island between us and the Nevada. We're kind of trying to counter-rotate around, keep the bow able to be seen, because if we can keep the bow able to be seen, we should be able to kind of lob the shots over, continue to do some damage to this Nevada while he can't really shoot at us, or at least that's my theory. We finally drop spot off of the plane, and we're just kind of trying to get this cap here before anyone else decides to try anything funny, tries to push in, does anything like that. So Nevada, I think he's taken a bit too much damage for his liking. We're going to continue to push up, just try to maximize the area that that island is covering. Shoot our torpedoes through the gap, because we can see some of the other battleships kind of coming through. And well, we do have sea mines, and the nice thing about those things is people kind of forget that they're around. So they do have a higher hit rate than you would expect when you just throw them out. But at this point, I'm like, okay, 3 battleships, probably not gonna last the longest. So let's use the speed while we have all three of them relatively in the same-ish area to try and get out of the way, try to get at range so that we have a chance at surviving. Now, shout out to our friendly destroyer who has gone and captured B. So our team now has 3 of the 4 capture points, and it's not the one you expect that we still haven't capped. It's actually D, which is kind of wild. And we can see the enemy team has kind of pushed almost all the way through D. They have yet to actually capture it, which means we are gaining points and they have no such income available to them. We are now getting spotted, so we're now going to have to start making the Duke a dance. We can see those torpedoes slowly making their way through that gap. I was hoping Nevada would stay on his course because we could get another hit. I don't know if the torpedoes hit him or the Koenig. I think the torpedoes ended up hitting him. But we did get that one torpedo hit previously. So we're kind of retreating back, making it so that it's a little bit easier for us to be able to dance, get out of the way. And then we're going to start trying just to harass these battleships. You know, that's about the best we can do. You know, we're somewhat well positioned. We don't need to worry about pushing in, and you know, they are outside of the cap and we have the cap. So really our job is delay. If they want to push, we can try to prevent them from capping. And shout out to the other destroyer once again, who has once pushed the remaining 2 battleships on the other flank out of D, making it so that we are about to cap all of the points in this match, which is really rather exciting. We're trying to find a position, take a position behind these islands, because as much fun as it is to scurry around with our with whatchamacallit, with these battleships in the area and try to dodge their shots, it's much more effective for us find this little gap in the island and just start chunking the enemy battleships, especially ones like California, for a couple thousand hit points each and every time we decide to fire our guns. Koenig, also a valid target out in the back. It looks like Nevada has decided to retreat. Probably going to try to push into B because, well, they need some sort of capture point or else this game is going to be over. The one thing we do kind of have to keep an eye on is the other 2 enemy battleships out in the open waters between now C and D. Those guys could end up becoming a threat. They could have an access to our broadside. They could start spotting us for these other guys. So we're gonna have to start making a play here relatively soon. We're gonna have to kind of figure out what's what. Also, just try to get a spot because we need to be doing consistent damage onto these battleships in order to start to whittle them down. You know, we have a fast DPM over time, but we need to put that DPM into effect in order to have any sort of chance of bringing these guys down. So we're trying to get some spots off. You know, waiting for the plane to regen. The plane has been doing a good chunk of the spotting for us, which has been nice when we had it up. But at this point, it's kind of okay. Who can we see? How's our battleship doing? We should probably check in on him. How's that Queen Elizabeth? You know, what are we dealing with out in that? We can see the enemy Nevada finally going on and starting to cap B. You know, trying to win back their side for their team because they have, at this point, we are nearly double the amount of points that they have currently. Though we are now behind on ships because we haven't really been sinking much as far as their battleships go, and their battleships are the most valuable piece, right? It's a 100-point swing when you sink a battleship, and we can see our friendly battleship here is not long for this world. The best we can do is try to be a annoyance to these other battleships so that they shoot at us, but our friendly battleship, not really long for this world. We can try to kind of exchange and shoot between the 2 of these ships so that they don't ever stack enough points in order to actually cap A. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a losing kind of strategy. So we need to figure out what we want to do maneuver-wise, because we could isolate ourselves into this bottom left-hand corner, but that's going to give us water that's not going to give us much water to maneuver in. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't want to get stuck into the left of that peninsula. We want to go right. If things get too hot, we can drop off spot, wait until Queen Elizabeth gets in range over here. It's exactly what we do. We've dropped the spot, and we're just going to kind of wait and try to kind of make a breakthrough towards these other two battleships right here. You know, Queen Elizabeth, much lower health, and if we can sink Queen Elizabeth, we'll have kind of broken through over here. Then we'll deal with the other battleship, and then we kind of link up with our destroyer and see what's what. We do have one friendly battleship, but at this point, I think he hasn't moved for the last God knows how long. So I think he disconnected from the game, unfortunately. So it's really just the two of us versus these 5 battleships at the moment. Queen Elizabeth goes down. You can see the new/old shell indicator for the SAP, as that is something that just got changed with this update. Our friendly Farragut ends up knocking down the other battleship. So now it's clear seas out to this direction, and we are getting down to the last 2 minutes of this match. We are still by far and away ahead on points. So we don't need to be playing as aggressively. We're going to start trying to push into this Nevada. Of course, Nevada is going to have probably going to start prioritizing the easy kill, and I don't blame him for that, because, you know, that once, as we said, that's a 100-point swing, and they need those swings in points if they want to win. So Nevada, nice and easy target for the SAP. He's well within our range now. We are going to continue our maneuvering, continue trying to knock him out. So that's what we're going to do. Just kind of concentrate down on the Nevada and try to knock him out. We can see our Farragut not quite in range as of yet, but we do need to be cautious, because if we do start taking a significant amount of damage, we need to be able to kind of bug out. You know, one of us has to survive, or else we will have just absolutely thrown this match away, which we definitely don't want to do that. We want to end the game with the W. And we can see SAP just taking its small chunks out. You know, it does seem that, you know, there was initially that damage saturation bug with the SAP. It does definitely seem like they finished it. Nevada ends up taking down Cavour, which is going to start the 100-point swing. We knock Nevada out, which kind of resets us as we swing the points 100 points in each direction. And at this point, we're like, okay, we have all but guaranteed this. We have not seen the enemies, the last 2 enemies, and we're at 30 seconds remaining. So guys, that's the game. Like I said, little changes today for the SAP stuff. Not a huge update, but still interesting to see what they're updating, what they're doing with the game, all of that stuff. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.